Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Aquaponics World. Today we are going to be doing a quarter water change out. I guess I may be looking at these instructions again and see what it is that I need to do. I can't really remember. But this water was sitting out for an entire week, still yellow. Not too sure where that dirt came from, but apparently there's some dirt in there that's coming off of the plants. So yeah, that's not going back in my fish tank today. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I need to start filtering this water somehow, so I'm gonna need to get a filter at some point. One of the plants died, and one is still okay. This guy's getting a little wilty. Okay, so I just want to check real quick that we're right on maintenance schedule. So last week I replaced the magnetic impeller, which is a yearly replacement, and so don't need to check and clean because I replaced it. But if in 3 months minus that 1 week that it's been so far, I'll be checking and cleaning that. The motor seal ring, I got 3 months before I got to check and clean that because I just did the annual replacement. The intake stem strainer, I got 3 months to clean that. Just cleaned that last week. Ribbed hosing, I got 6 months to check and clean that. I just checked and cleaned that. I don't have any mechanical foam. The biofoam is are these sponges, the long sponges that I have. And so the biofoam is check and clean every 3 months. So I have another 3 months for that, and replace every 6 months. So I have 6 months before I got to replace that because I just replaced that. The Biomax, that's this stuff right here. And I also have some filter media, which isn't on this list, but we'll just count it like Biomax. And that's rinse every month, so I have another month to do that. I was only supposed to replace half of the quantity of it. I replaced all of it. I didn't read the instructions first. Carbon pad, I have another month to replace that. I just replaced that last week. And cleaning the canister, I have a month before I got to do that. I just did that last week as well. So all I got to do is just the water change out today. Now the Fluval pump does not tell you to clean your fish tank once a week, but I do. It doesn't talk about doing a water change out once a week, but I do. As you can see with all new parts and everything like that, it still gets kind of funky in there just in a week. So I am going to go ahead and drain a quarter of the water out. I have 2 5-gallon totes that I use to drain that water out, and I'll be using one of those 5-gallon totes to replace the water for the plants. Still trying to grow these plants with nothing but a tablet for micronutrients and dirty fish waters for the NPK. So to remove the water from the fish tank, to do the weekly quarter water change out, I just put a hose in a 5-gallon tote. And instead of it pumping it back out back into the fish tank, I'm going to close that, and I'm going to open this. And that way the water doesn't pump back out into the fish tank, it pumps out into this. So it's sucking it in through the intake, into the filter, and then pumping it out this. And I'm gonna remove 10 gallons, so 2 5-gallon totes of water. And then I have water that's been sitting back here waiting for a week, getting the chlorine out of that water so that I can add in some clean water, replace this 10 gallons of water. So this water I'm going to use for the plant, and that's 5 gallons of dirty fish water out. And what I'll do is I'll just take the plants out and take this bucket out, and I'll go ahead and dump that out for right now because I don't have a filter to filter this water. As soon as I get a filter to filter this water, I can put this water back into the fish tank. But for right now, I'm just going to dump this out the window, and I'm going to replace it with this right here. I'm going to add a tablet of this stuff here for the micronutrients and try to feed this plant with nothing but dirty fish water and a little bit of micronutrients. So like I said, it's a pretty easy procedure once a week to do the water change out. It's, you know, only once a month that you got to replace those carbon filters, these guys right here. So, you know, once a month I'm going to be doing that, and once every 6 months replacing these guys here. So, you know, I do want to check and clean these every 3 months. But now that's full, I can go ahead and shut this off and open this back up. And I can go ahead and dump one of these out the window and then use this one for the plant. So I'm just gonna, the plants are hanging from the ceiling, so I'm just gonna take it out and let it hang there. This guy here died, so he's coming down. He's done. And take this guy, hang him outside the bucket. And you can tell there's definitely some anaerobic, you know, issues with the roots, not getting any air. But if it's alive, it's alive. No electricity is better for me. And this guy's got a huge new leaf, 2 new leaves on it, so you're doing okay. So I'm just gonna take this out and put that one in. So this is the dirty water I just got out of the fish tank. Set this one over to the side. I'm gonna be dumping that out the window. But it does seem like such a waste of water. But if I don't do these weekly water change outs, this pump doesn't remove ammonia from the water enough. You know, the beneficial bacteria does change the ammonia into nitrate, which is great for the plants, but it's not enough to remove the ammonia from the water entirely. As you can see, it's sort of a yellowish color, and I do need to clean the glass, you know, once a week. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to add one of those tablets to this. So these tablets are a little bit better than this hydroponics fertilizer as far as the color that it changes it. So hopefully once I get a filter, I can use the filter to filter out this dirty water and put it back into the fish tank. But I'm just going to take one of these and drop it in there for micronutrients. Got to make sure that the roots are in the water and the plant isn't in the water. Roots are in the water. This plant isn't getting wet, so it's good. So now I'm just going to dump these 2 buckets of water out the window, and I'm going to scrub off the glass and add some clean water back in. So to clean off the fish tank, once you have a quarter of the water drained out, you can just use your hand and scrub that off. These little bubblers get really nasty, so you want to just run your hands across those and the hoses and just scrub off all the sides of the glass and the bottom of the glass, and that helps to keep it all nice and clean. So once a week I do this. It's not really that difficult. It is a waste of water, but once I get another filter, then I will be able to clean the water and put it back in. Alright, so I got all the glass cleaned off, got the bubblers cleaned off. So now all I got to do is just add some more water back in. And like I said, I have a 50-gallon water reserve to let the let the chlorine get out of the water. So I'm just going to basically be putting my hose into this water and letting it suck this water back into that fish tank to replace the 10 gallons of water that I removed. So I'm not going to need all 50 gallons, but it's always good to have an extra little bit of reserve in here. So I'm just going to close the in and open this. So all the water is out of this tank, down to the last little ½ an inch of water, but this is full, so that worked out perfectly. Took out 10 gallons, put in 10 gallons. I'm just going to shut this off and open the end back up, and then I can just hang this back up on the top over here, and I can use this next week. But that's all there is to it, really. I mean, the weekly maintenance isn't that difficult. You just got to make sure that you do a quarter water change out, because the ammonia levels can get really high in a week, and you want to scrub off the glass, clean off the glass once a week. So not that tough. As far as the plants are concerned, like I said, it's obvious that I have a little bit of an iron deficiency on this. One of the plants died, so it definitely did not like going from the hydroponics fertilizer to just a tablet, but it is what it is. I really want to just grow using nutrients from the aquaponics system. I want to try to, I've talked about using chelates and things like that to get the best out of the fish water that I can. Chelates, I'm sorry, whatever they're called. But I'm gonna just be using a little bit of micronutrients, the smallest amount that I can, to try to conserve soil. And once I get this water filtered, I can conserve the water as well. End of the day, the goal is that I can reduce the cost of farming to zero. So basically, as long as, it's going to cost me a little bit of fish food, but I've been looking into that. There are some things that you can grow, some plants that you can grow to feed your fish. Some fish are meat eaters, but some aren't. Some don't need meat. I don't think the goldfish need meat. They can probably just live off of some plants that I can grow using the aquaponic system. So I'll get into that more in the future. But at the end of the day, the goal is to basically be using zero cost. The electricity on the bubblers and the pump are my only costs that I can't seem to get rid of. I can keep the fish alive, but it's difficult. If in an extreme situation, I can farm having zero cost. It just means that I am going to have to do water change outs, probably daily water change outs, in order to maintain the proper ammonia level in there. Like I said, I did keep the fish alive without any electricity whatsoever, no bubblers, no pumps, and that's because these fish will come up for air. I don't know if all fish will do that, but that's the goal, is to be able to farm for free. So I can farm for free. I just have to do daily water change outs, and I'll test that theory out more in the future as well. A lot of people will say, oh, you don't have to do this, or you do have to do that, or whatever. But, my thing is that I'm trying to do free gardening, free food, because in the near future, with desertification, the soil is turning into sand. places are going to be charging so much for food that no one will be able to afford food in the future. In the near future, we're talking 20 years from now, in my lifetime, there will be a shortage of food. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it so that the farmers out there can figure out a solution for the desertification. And this is what I've come up with so far, is to use zero soil, zero fertilizer, zero water, zero electricity, all that. So I do apologize if my pet keeping isn't up to standards. I'm actually not trying to keep pets. I did get into these glowfish because they're so pretty, so I added quite a bit of an ammonia load to my fish tank that wasn't necessary. I probably should have just stuck with the 2 goldfish. 2 goldfish, 3 goldfish in a 50-gallon tank is plenty. So yeah, that's one of my problems, is that I did add the glowfish in there, and I will fess up to that. They shouldn't even be in the same tank together. But this is where I'm at, and I appreciate you guys following along with my process. I hope everybody goes out and gets a Fluval pump and a 50-gallon fish tank, and you know, and get some plants and hang them up from the ceiling and see what you can grow, because hopefully we'll have some squash here in a few months. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Once I get 1,000 subs, and I think it's like 1,000 hours of watch hours on my videos, then they'll start monetizing my videos, which will help out in my process of getting aquaponics going, a free aquaponics system. I can take it outdoors, and instead of using the lights, I can use this natural sunlight. You know, I'm sure that I can figure out a way to probably keep a grow room outside warm enough to make it through the winters and cool enough to make it through the summers without electricity. That's a whole nother process right there, but I can get to this. I can get to it. It's all one step at a time, and it does require a little bit of initial investment. So thanks again for watching and subscribing, liking the videos, and I will see you guys again next week. We will be doing another weekly water change out, nothing too much. Hopefully, like this is the second week of, this is the first week of just doing a weekly water change out. So I have, 3 more weeks of just doing water change outs until I have to mess with this pump again. So pretty easy maintenance. So mostly my updates will just be doing a weekly cleaning for the next month or so, and seeing how this plant goes, and maybe adding some more squash to some more plants to this tote here. All right, guys, see you next week. Have a great day.